Hi, folks. I hope you're doing well. Last week I spoke about reliability, about how the world rewards dependable people more than talented people. And a question that I got from one of the viewers, which I really liked, is if reliability is so valuable, what exactly is it producing? Thought that was a great question. And in trying to give an answer and do research for the answer, which will come in this video, one of the books I read is Poor Charlie's Almanac. And for those who haven't read it, it's a collection of speeches, essays, and commentary by the legendary investor and Berkshire Hathaway vice chairman Charles Munger. And in there, he talks about a few things, but specifically about reliability. He says that reliability creates trust, trust creates reputation, and reputation creates opportunity. So, in other words, reputation is the economic return on reliability. That is the value of reliability because it creates reputation. Reputation is the economic return on reliability. And what I find is that most people think reputation is a social concept. And I guess to a certain degree it is. But people, when they think about reputation, I guess their mind goes to something like it's something about popularity, likability, your image, your brand. And that is correct. But for me, reputation is not just a social concept, it's also an economic asset. Reputation is an economic asset because every opportunity in your life involves uncertainty. Every time you try something new, every time you attempt something new, every time you meet someone new, every opportunity that is presented to you that will lead to you growing, meaning you're about to do something new, it's largely based on reputation. And because every opportunity in your life involves uncertainty, a client doesn't know if you'll do good work, an investor doesn't know if you'll protect their capital, a business partner doesn't know if you'll honor your commitments, an employer doesn't know if you'll deliver, if what you say in the CV is actually who you are. So what that means is that before people risk money, opportunity, capital, or trust on you, they look for evidence that you are worth risking these things on. And your reputation is that evidence. Think about how often you yourself have made decisions this way. You chose a restaurant because somebody you trusted recommended it. You hire someone because another client vouched for them. You meet with someone because a respected person in your life introduced them. So notice what's happening there. Trust is being transferred. And that's what a recommendation really is. It's a transfer of trust. A recommendation is one person risking their reputation on another person, which is why it is so valuable. And that's why in life opportunities don't flow equally because our reputations are not equal. People don't recommend potential, they recommend evidence. People are always trying to remove uncertainty from life. So when they're making decisions, especially decisions that involves their time, their trust, their capital, their money, people don't recommend potential. They recommend evidence. Evidence that you'll be reliable, evidence that you'll show up, evidence that you'll do what you said you'll do, which is why reliability matters so much, which is what I was discussing last week. Most people think reliability is the reward. It's not. Reliability is the cause, reputation is the effect. Reliability is the cause, reputation is the effect. And reputation has extraordinary economic value because eventually what happens is your name starts entering rooms before you do. A conversation happens, an opportunity appears, a problem needs solving, and somebody says, call her, speak to him. They'll get it done. You aren't present. You aren't selling yourself. You aren't pitching. You aren't positioning. Your reputation is doing the work for you. And that's one of the closest things to leverage that you'll ever find. And you know what a big um, advocate I am of trying to always create leverage in your life. That's one of the closest things to leverage you'll ever find is your reputation. Because leverage is simply producing results without your direct involvement. Money can do that, systems can do that, technology can do that, and so can a great reputation. That's why people like Charlie Munger spent decades obsessing over character, not because it was morally admirable, though it is, but it's because they understood something that a lot of people miss. Character creates reliability, reliability creates trust, trust creates reputation, and reputation creates opportunity. It's a long chain and longer than most people think, which is why one of the smartest questions you can ever ask yourself is not how do I become successful? The question you should be asking is what am I doing today that makes it easier for people to trust me tomorrow? What am I doing today that makes it easier for people to trust me tomorrow? Because success often arrives long after trust has already been earned.